featured in an ESPN Kobe Bryant retirement special, but actually he hates Kobe Bryant.
All right, so to all you Kobe fans, I'm just say I'm a LeBron fan, so I have to fire up. All right, so I'm not gonna figure out the stand today. I'm just gonna talk from the heart, more or less. And first off, thank you guys for hanging around and being some of the survival of the fittest and listening to our stories. So my story is surrounded on why I hate the month of September. But before I even go down that road, I have to tell you the story of my father. So my dad was born and raised in New Roads, Louisiana. For those of you who don't know where it's at, it's about an hour and 15 minutes outside of Baton Rouge. And I remember being younger, and I hated going to the damn country. I just hated it because it's like, when I go to the country, the crib smells like dogs. It's just I just hated going there. But I understand now, later in life, why my dad did it. When you think of these images of riding through cotton fields, and at that point in time, you have no idea or no understanding of what slavery is or what the institution was. You just have these images of why is there so much greenery around here? And, looking back on it now and realizing that my family is descendant of slaves. My last name is Lyle. I've never met another Lyle, but I've met a lot of Lyles with an S. And, a lot of times to help, maintain a family name, you drop a letter. So I'm pretty sure at some point in my life, my family decided to drop the S, and that's why it's Lyle. So that's the story of the last name. That's the story of my father. My father is the most important figure in my life. He was in the Army. He sacrificed everything for me to be able to be here. And thinking about that, now to connect it with why I hate the month of September. So this is September. This is my 8th grade year, and I'm in my room, I'm studying, and my mom comes in, and she's like, "Chris, I have some bad news." And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Your cousin died." I'm like, "Wait, of what?" She's like, "Of AIDS." I'm like, "Wait, what?" And so, the terminology of AIDS gets thrown around the community so much, but you don't understand what it means until it's your actual family that dies. And I think of that experience every time I go to the hospital and I get tested. When that needle hits your arm, it's damn, why couldn't my cousin just have done this? Magic Johnson had the resources, people had the resources, but my cousin didn't, my family didn't. And she's no longer here. So that's September, 8th grade year. Fast forward another year, entering high school. You know how you enter high school, you start feeling yourself oh yeah, freshman year, oh I got the fresh outfit, Jabot jeans, the tall tee, the snapback, oh yeah, I'm good. And again, similar situation. Mom comes in, she's like, "Chris, your grandfather passed." I'm like, "But what?" He was in perfectly good health, he was good. And it's he was hit by a drunk driver. Damn, another one? These are my people, this is my closest family. And it's every year in September, some shit always happens. And it just sucks. Because it's you want these people to be there for you, when things hopefully would work out. When I hopefully actually, graduate from high school, and when I hopefully make it to college, I want those people to be there at my graduation. But they're not here to see that no more. And so that happens. I'm like, fuck, all right. It's a tough pill to swallow. You continue on. You continue to do what you're supposed to do. You continue to study, make the grades, whatever, all the stuff that we've all done. But it's still eating at you. And then another year. Same shit, different day. And so, coming from the Mississippi Gulf Coast, Like, you hear about hurricanes, and you hear about these things, and they happen all the damn time. But you don't understand until it actually hits. And so, you know, my dad's like, hey, there's another hurricane coming, we're gonna evacuate. We're going to Phoenix City, depending on what side of the state line you're on, it's like Alabama, Georgia, but we're going to stay with my goddad. I'm like, okay, all right. I'm not gonna pack my PS2 this time because we've done this shit multiple times and nothing ever happens, everything's always fine, like, I'm not gonna pack nothing, like, I'm good. And you don't pack anything, like, you just, whatever, I'm hop in the car, pass out, go to sleep, wake me up when we get there. And you get there, and you start seeing things spiraling out of control. And then August 31st, 2005 comes around, and Hurricane Katrina actually hits. And, you know, not knowing the state of your home, or the state of your friend's home, or people that you're surrounded with, but you know there's been a crazy storm, you're hearing all these stories played out in the media, you're watching like things happen in New Orleans, you're watching the Superdome, people stuck on bridges, people looting because they have nothing, and the government is failing them. And like even then at that age, like being in 10th grade, like while I didn't fully understand everything that was happening, I knew that it wasn't good. And so, the storms passed. They're telling you, oh, you can't go back, it's not safe. But my dad's like, no, fuck that, I'm gonna go check out my house. I'm like, I feel you, Dad, what's wrong? And so, we get in the car, and we get into our community, we're driving. And so the way my community was set up is like, it's like a suburban community, there's like an upper part and there's a lower part. And the lower part sits closer to the water, basically. And as you start to go down the hill, you just see like stuff outside of other people's homes. It's like, damn, we definitely got water. And then you see people's couches and like all their like belongings and like all these things, and they're outside. And then we get there, and I just remember like walking into the door, and it's actually the only day I've ever seen my dad cry. Again, he is the strongest black male figure I've ever had in my life. And he breaks down. And I know why he does it, because he's worked so damn hard to make it from New Rose, Louisiana, to actually be able to own a home, to actually have things, to have them all snatched away at one point in time. You walk in, and all you see is like a 6-foot line that like runs on your wall, and it just runs, because that's how high the water had got. I remember walking into my room and seeing like my TV sandwich below my bed, all my trophies destroyed, everything's just like all over the place, things that you actually give a fuck about, it's just gone. My sister, all her toys, my younger sister, she has no understanding, because at that point in time, she's 12 years old, like barely understands what the fuck is going on. And I just remember thinking in that moment, like, all right, what are we gonna do next? Like, what happens from here? Do we have money to, like, am I gonna go to college? Like, how does this, like, what do we do from here? That happens, and obviously it's not living condition. So only place my dad can think of that's viable for us to be able to sleep is the classroom, because he's an ROTC instructor at this point. So we go to the high school, and I remember being in the classroom, and like, there's only one couch, like there's a desk. There's not enough for there's 4 of us, there's not enough for all 4 of us to sleep. And you just hear a knock on the door. Oh, who is this? And by the grace of God, it's my girlfriend's dad, and like there's no way, we weren't able to communicate, because the cell towers were down, everything's messed up, so you're not able to communicate. And he's just like, hey, you guys aren't sleeping here, come to our house. His house was unaffected. We ended up living in that house for 2 months. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of worked out for me, because still my girlfriend's like, crib, so I'm like, let's do this. Oh man. So that's what happens. And then, so we get to the house, and it's legit every day. You're waking up at like 7 a.m. as the sun comes up just to go work on the house. And basically what you're doing is you're just tearing out everything that you've known all your life. I'm saying everything, like the pictures, the sofas, the clothes, everything. You're just going on the side of the street, and you're watching people like come by on the side of the street who might need it more, so they take it from you without even offering to come inside to help. And it's the hardest thing I've ever been through in my life, but the one thing that I'm most appreciative of. Because through that, I learned the importance of community. You know, I think sometimes, no, a lot of times we get lost in materialistic shit that can be gone like that. And like, who are you gonna call on when it's all gone? And like, that's what taught me like who my friends were, how important family was. Even my girlfriend's family, like, I mean, she's not my girlfriend no more, but like, I mean, we're still cool, so like, yeah. But they were there for us, which was very, 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 very important. So as the story continues, you know, finally we've taken everything out the house. Now we're talking just wood beams, cement floor. There's nothing else left in the house. You know, my dad was very hands-on because he grew up in the country, so he understood it. He was like, you know, I'm gonna teach you everything, which he did. And you know, at some point we decided we want to move back in. And so, you know, you guys have heard the controversy over FEMA trailers. We're like, oh yeah, we're gonna move back in. We're gonna live in the FEMA trailer. I'm like, okay, that sounds good. You walk into the FEMA trailer, and you can only be in it for like 1 month without your eyes burning because of fucking chemicals they put into it just to clean it out. It's like you can't sleep in that. So we end up sleeping in a house. We sleep in a house. It's nothing but cement floor and wood beams, and we're all in one bedroom. We're in my parents' master bedroom, on 2 air mattresses on cement floor. I shared one with my sister. And I just remember one night, I just couldn't sleep because I'm cold, because at this point it's December, and like, you know, we don't have heat because we don't have electricity, and I'm just freezing and I'm cold, and I'm like, you know, how is life gonna shake out? Like, am I even gonna go to college? Like, what happens from here? And, you know, while I look back on those dark times and how hard it was for me, I also realized that I got lucky. Like, to be here without you guys, I got lucky as fuck. Like, there's people that I went to high school with that I never saw after that storm because they went and moved to Houston, or they moved to Georgia, they moved here, and I never was able to communicate with them again. And then, as I saw, so then, like, obviously, high school continues. At some point, the house is finally all set back up. It's like, all right, college, it's getting on my radar. Like, how do we afford it? Like, Dad, we lost 2 cars, you lost your old home. Like, you didn't have insurance, we didn't have flood insurance because we weren't in the fucking flood zone. Like, how am I even going to be able to go to college? And, you know, one of the best things ever happens to me. I get into Wharton, undergrad. And I'm just like, yes, like, I got in, like, I can go, like, oh, it's gonna all shake out. Until you see that it costs $27,000 a year, and you realize how much your parents just paid to help rebuild your entire life, or our entire life. So you can't go. Like, I remember the conversations, you know, my dad, like as much as I want to go, like, I can't go because I know how deeper the financial burden would be for me and for us if I go, so I won't. So I turn it down. And so the reason that I say all this is to help bring it full circle. You know, some people in the room know this, but I ended up getting an award in 6 days before preterm off the wait list. And that for me was my second chance. Obviously I jumped on it and I came here, but you know, that for me brought everything full circle and taught me that, like, no matter how dark it might get, that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And so I say all this to say, you know, community is so important. And that later in life, if you ever hit an obstacle, if you ever hit a wall, and it's all downhill, remember the people that you're around, because they will be the first people that will have your back. They'll be that knock on the door that comes and gets you out the high school classroom and opens up a whole home that you live in for 2 months. They will be the people that will sit there, and the teachers that will say, Chris, so you can still go to college. Like, I know you're like worried, but you can still go. And like, yeah, you should apply to University of Pennsylvania. I'm like, what the fuck is the University of Pennsylvania? I'm from Mississippi. I have no idea. Like, all I know is Ole Miss and Mississippi State. What do you mean? And she's like, no, like, it's a good school. And I'm like, I don't know. But like those will be the people that will still uplift you and like keep you together. And so I hope, as you know, we continue to tell these stories, I encourage you to be vulnerable amongst your classmates, to be vulnerable amongst people that are around you. Because through vulnerability, you're able to connect and make the community much stronger. And so to bring it full circle, thinking about, when we started classes in September. So while I used to hate September, and it still leaves a bad taste in my mouth because there's people I've lost that I'm not, and things that I've been through that I'll never be able to change. I'm thankful for the month of September because it introduced me to a lot of you guys in this room. So thank you.